One UFO contactee reported a disk the size of the UFO that had magnets on the outer edge. And so here we actually have a disk that has magnets on the outer edge that perhaps may be powered by some means that involve permanent magnets or some arrangement of permanent magnets.
According to Vallone, the separate halves of UFOs might rotate to create energy that can be harnessed to power the spaceship.
Today, we will study how to create a twisting stress in space-time and how that might explain how UFOs fly. There was a famous contactee called Norman Paulson who rode on a UFO in the 1970s, and they showed him, the occupants, show that its propulsion was due to two magnetic disks which rotate in opposite directions. Something like this crop picture here, where we have an inside disk going clockwise and an outer disk going anti-clockwise. Now we can recreate that motion quite easily using 3-wire coils like this, which we'll label UVW as standard 3-phase wire coils, and we'll have a little variable frequency device which will power them with 3-phase power. And we can study the physics in that way. Let's see how it works. First, we need to understand 3-phase power. We have 3 magnets here, UVW, and I've put a big disk magnet over them in the middle. That's exactly like we've done here in a crop picture from Brazil. We have 1, 2, 3 wire coils, those things there. 1, 2, 3, and they're connected by a hexagon because 3-phase power with those 3 wire coils goes in steps of 60 degrees. Here, 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 as that magnet rotates in the middle. Is that clear to everybody? Look at that, it should be very clear. Now, when you put on 3-phase power, this magnet will spin. It's called a wobble spin, and when you spin fast enough, it'll rise up. It spins clockwise with the field. Go a little faster, it rises right up. Now you might think that would be okay for UFO flight. Oh, we made a UFO, but we haven't, because there's no change of weight when that thing goes up and down, just a change of gravitational potential energy. So we have to do something else. Now what we need to do next is to add another magnetic disc on top of these wire coils, which spins in the opposite direction. And here it is. We're going to have 4 magnets, red, blue, north, south, just like in this crop picture here. And where will they be located? Well, we have the 3-phase coils here with a wobbling magnet in the center, and these will be outside of the wobbling magnet around where the 3-phase coils are. And this will match exactly this UFO seen by Edwin Furr in 1974 Canada. So next we're going to place this magnetic flywheel on top of those 3 coils and see how it spins. Here we go now. We've added this 4-magnet flywheel, like from the UFO, on top of the other 3-phase coils, and you can see at low power it spins quite nicely anti-clockwise against the field in the other direction from the wobble, with red, north, or south blue magnets at 90-degree angles around. We speed it up and it goes very fast. Look at that. Very strong torque. Okay, now we have our 2 magnetic flywheels spinning in opposite directions, just like Norman Paulson said. First we have a magnet wobbling in the center here clockwise, and outside along the 3-phase coils we have this 4-magnet flywheel, which I just spun, and it looks like the UFO 4 magnets spinning high in the air, and that would be the wobble magnet inside here, which is just shown there. So, everything matches quite nicely. Study those photos and you'll see exactly what I mean. Today, we will continue to assemble the various parts needed to make a UFO fly. First, by this image of a UFO, very famous, we see 3 balls below with something circular in the middle. And there's almost certainly these 1, 2, 3 wire coils here, which give 3-phase power of the device to make magnetic things spin inside, as you'll see in a minute. They'll make this magnetic flywheel spin quite rapidly. Secondly, we've put a magnetic flywheel here with alternating north-south magnets, which will spin anti-clockwise above the device, just like in this famous crop picture here. You'll see spinning anti-clockwise, and inside we're going to put a disc magnet like this. So put that on top, like that. And now you see we've assembled this device, the disc magnet and the thing spinning outside. Here it is, and the disc magnet will spin clockwise in the other direction. So we start from this arrangement and move to the clockwise spin. Now interestingly, if you turn this thing, you'll see the two magnets are linked quite closely with one another. If we turn the disc magnet, the other NS-NS magnets spin with it. However, the 3-phase field here will try to make that one go anti-clockwise and try to make this one go clockwise. So we're going to put some stress into the space-time as soon as we turn this on. Let's watch and see how that happens. Now there are two ways we can do this. First, we're going to put this big disc magnet very close to these 4 NS-NS magnets, attracting very strongly. So when we turn on the 3-phase power like this, and the NS magnets go anti-clockwise, the disc magnet will turn anti-clockwise with it. Even though the disc magnet wants to go clockwise. So the disc magnet can be forced to move in an opposite direction according relative to how it usually spins. That's the first situation. Now let's look at the second situation. In the second situation, we can start with the disc magnet much higher up, and now you see it spinning clockwise while the magnets below are going anti-clockwise. So when the magnetic attraction gets to be less, now they can spin in opposite directions as they prefer to do. See, the top magnet's going clockwise, and the other magnets below are going anti-clockwise. Now if we start with the lower magnet spinning anti-clockwise first, and then add this magnet, it'll go clockwise. If we add it later. In this case, we're going to be creating a lot of stress in magnetic space-time. Imagine that. One spinning anti-clockwise below, and the other magnet is spinning clockwise just above. And you can see there's a close magnetic linkage between the two, so if we turn one magnet, the other magnet wants to turn with it. Here we have a 60mm magnet, which is spinning clockwise, just above the flywheel, which is going anti-clockwise. Even though it's a fairly low motion when they're close to one another. They're both spinning in opposite directions, putting a lot of stress into space-time. So the exact behavior of this system depends on the size or type of the magnet we put inside on the wobble position. For smaller central magnets, for example this 50mm magnet with a 20mm hole, you can see at low speed it will go anti-clockwise like the NS-NS flywheel below, but then when we speed it up without doing anything else, it'll go clockwise. So the physics of this system may depend to some extent on what kind of magnet you put in the middle. Now as a final point of interest, If we remove that 4-magnet flywheel, NS, 4 magnets and a little bearing there, and just have the 50mm magnet spinning on a pole over 3 3-phase wire coils, we'll turn on the power, goes clockwise as expected, get a little higher speed, and it rises right up. Whereas when the flywheel is there, it wouldn't rise up at all. Likewise, the flywheel itself, NS magnets, without the 50mm magnet above it, will spin with 3-phase power in the opposite direction, opposite the field, anti-clockwise rather than clockwise, with a lot of torque. So these two magnetic objects spin in opposite directions and apply a lot of magnetic stress on each other. To conclude today's work, here I will just summarize what we are doing so everybody will understand. Here's a famous UFO picture from the late 1950s. We see 3 balls with something spinning inside. Those are almost certainly those 1, 2, 3 wire coils I've put here that give 3-phase power, which is known to make things spin. Outside of that, here's another famous UFO from 1974. We see 1, 2, 3, 4 magnets, which were witnessed at close range to be spinning very fast. Those are almost certainly those 1, 2, 3, 4 magnets, which I've put just above those 3 balls, as you can see here. In the center we have a big round thing, which is almost certainly this big disc magnet I put here. And you can see that sits and it spins in combination with the 3 balls, and you can see how closely they're linked. So if we spin one, the other has a tendency to spin with it. Pretty cool, isn't it? Now, we know from a contactee, Norman Paulson, that who wrote on a UFO, the repulsion is due to 2 magnetic disks spinning in opposite directions. So what we've tried to do here is we've taken this basic system where 3 wire coils, 4 magnets, and 1 big disk magnet, which naturally want to spin in the same direction, and we're putting 3-phase power on. We get one to spin anti-clockwise, the other to spin clockwise. And that doesn't even work without the power. So in summary, a combination of anti-clockwise for those NS magnets and clockwise for this big disk magnet, whereas it really wants to go anti-clockwise, will put enormous twisting stress on the magnetic field at that point. The magnetic field will be highly twisted because the 3-phase coils want it to go clockwise, whereas the magnets below want it to go anti-clockwise. So we're going to characterize those physics and see if that can explain UFO levitation. This has never been done before, so we just have to do it very slowly and carefully. The value to humankind would be enormous if this turns out to be true.
I walked a little closer. I wanted to really see what it was, but it was moving. And instinct told me to back up. So I backed up to stand about at least 15 feet away from him. And I thought, well, that's kind of odd. It's going the opposite way. It's going counterclockwise. It's not going clockwise. It's going counterclockwise. Grass was moving one way and the machine was going the other way.